Hey everybody, Super Squee here, the Emotionally Unstable Gamer channel on YouTube, back for some more big list stuff and more things to come later, hopefully. Um, so let's just jump right in. I really enjoyed the customization in this game. I've missed playing something with more customization, and it's really pretty. The locales are wonderful, the sound design is hit and miss, and the story is almost non-existent. If not only It not only doesn't hold your hand, it feels it goes out of its way to make you figure the game out yourself. The gameplay is also very hit and miss, in my opinion. A lot of good ideas and cool design choices that feel crooked and not executed very well. I can see love went into this game, and it seems it still gets updates, so maybe I'll return to this interesting melee fighting world. Okay, so Absolver is like really interesting. There is a story, but it's kind of bare bones. It's like this big calamity happened, and like there's these different like sects of monks, and if you have PlayStation Plus on, like random other actual players will show up, and you fight them, and you can take armor and shit from them. Like I don't think you permanently lose shit, but you have a chance to like pick up shit that they dropped, I believe. There's a lot of interesting like little mini boss fights and shit with cutscenes. The game is really gorgeous. It feels like the type of game that honestly, I feel like it'd be really good for VR. I don't know if it has a VR mode or something. Like, I just feel like if you have those like, hand modules for a fucking, VR thing, that you could have a lot of fun punching with those. I mean, obviously, there would be the detriment of accidentally punching your fucking screen or something, but I don't know. Very pretty game. I feel like it's lacked its execution. It's interesting. It's published by Devolver Digital, as they do, because they always seem to have really weird shit that they publish. Though it left off in a way they could do Season 4, I don't think they will. At least not yet. And not remotely because it wasn't good, just because I think Disney is in process of moving things over to its own streaming service. I love this season. I liked all the new characters a lot. I felt they did a good job of making them feel real and not like a bunch of rando new people on the show. I love the series, and just the Marvel Netflix shows in general. I hope we get more news soon. So I feel like this ended really well in a way that, like, it needed to. Like, it deserved to end really well. I didn't used to be a huge fan of Daredevil. I got, like, a Daredevil comic from my grandmother that she picked up from some, like, random convenience store or some shit, like, forever ago. And I thought it was interesting, but, like, I never really got into it. And the comic I had was, like, really adult. Like, it wasn't, like, crazy sexual shit or whatever. It was just, like, it was written, like, way above my understanding as, like, a fucking 6-year-old child. But I think Daredevil's cool, and I'd love to see more, just in general. Not more like that old fucking movie that came out, but more like this TV show. This show is an absolute dumpster fire. I hated that I enjoyed it a decent amount. I hate that it's just slightly better Brickleberry, in my opinion. I hate that some of my favorite voice actors are in this trash bag. I am disgusted and can't look away. I am deeply saddened that a second season is coming. I forgot about that. Oh, God. I want to avoid that like the plague. Also, the animation is just gross. I hate you, Jim. It's all your fault. I don't know who am I tagging here? Why did I tag Jim? Did Jim tell me about this? Oh my goodness. Yeah, I got nothing else to say that I didn't already say about this. Like, bye. This picture is tiny because I couldn't find any better fucking pictures for this shit. Fuck the RNG in this game. Fuck the difficulty spike. Fuck the company that made it. It's pretty, though. So, like, this game has really cool, like, backgrounds and shit. But it's a really shit, like, puzzle game. It's got cool shit going on, like, mildly. But when you really get into the nitty-gritty, especially when you get close to, like, the end of the game, it's just it's put together really shittily. And it's, like, a puzzle game that has RNG to the point that, like, you have to get, like, the perfect level respawn on, like, some of the end levels to, like, remotely be able to finish them and not get fucked by the timer. And, like, you can barely find anything. When you just look up Axkin 2... Like, even with that surname, the world, whatever the fuck, because I can't read it because the picture's so tiny, on Google, you barely get anything. Like, you can't even find the first one. It was like an iOS game or some shit, I believe. Honestly, I was excited to watch this, but I wasn't hyped up, and I really, really enjoyed this series, and I can't wait for more. It's technically in the same universe as Riverdale, but it only references the town, nothing else, and the series is way different thematically. Also, just so much aesthetic. So, I have not watched the third part, which is what this little snippet is. I plan to. I'm excited to. I love the second part, or second season, or I don't understand Netflix thing, and these people being like part 1, part 2, part 3. Like, is it part of the same like series, or are you just saying part instead of season now? Like, that's fine, I guess. It just makes me confused. Like, part 3 makes me feel like it's part 3 of season 1, not season 3. Good shit though. Good shit. I like it. It's really cool. I do like the old slapsticky, like, I guess it's not necessarily slapstick all the time, but the old like Puppet Salem and shit, like live action show, and I really like the animated show too, but this shit is my jam. This is not a bad game. It is even a fun game at times. But as a whole, fuck this game. Don't get me wrong. Finishing it did give me a feeling of satisfaction, but more like the satisfaction you feel when you catch the fly that has been buzzing around your room for an hour. So this is like a runner where you've got to hit like different colors, like collect colored balls and shit, and swap between the different characters to collect those different colored balls to get like maximum points. Most of the running, like normal level shit, is super easy, but like there are boss fights that are just super intense, and like it's just bullshit level of like having to hit precision, and it made my brain hurt, and it's I don't want to talk about it. I think my cat is my cat is having a blast playing with the cat tree. I was like, what is that noise? What a cutie pie who loves his son and also good at being funny and informative. I learned things. So John Leguizamo, Latin history for morons. Wonderful, wonderful stand-up. I love this man. I do. I wish he was in more things. For people that don't know, he was, sadly, I guess sadly for him, he was Luigi Mario in the live-action Mario Brothers movie. He's in Chef. He is the voice of Sid the Sloth in the Ice Age films. Pretty sure I've seen him in a couple other things, but those are just the things I can think off top of my head. But I really like John Leguizamo. He's a cutie pie. He's a pretty good actor. He's a real funny dude. And I want to see him in more shit. The second stage, Turbine Blade, honestly just bored the fuck out of me. Not a single song did I want to download. None of it's bad. The singer's voice is amazing, but I just don't feel it from the first album. I know Coheed and Cambria has better stuff, so I'm looking forward to it. So I ended up listening to this album because my friend Chris wanted me to listen to Coheed and Cambria, which I need to return to Coheed and Cambria and listen to it. I only listened to this one album. I didn't like throttle it like I did with the discography of like Papa Roach and Paramore, which are the only two bands that I've like throttled so far, actually. I think I listened to a bunch of Matt and Kim, but I never really like went forward and like kept watching all this shit. So I put off watching this for too long. Jesus, what amazing performances. Also, this movie is totally in the MCU. I saw Coulson. I miss you, sweet prince. An absolutely awesome psychological movie. So like, first off, like I watched this after Robin Williams passed, and that made me sad. And like, this movie is just, it's so weird, and Robin Williams plays such a different character that he just knocks out of the park. He does such a fucking phenomenal job. And in this movie, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but the guy that plays Coulson in the MCU films is also in this, and like he's like a FBI agent, so it's like that could totally be Coulson. This could totally be in the MCU. This is like just some weird dude that he like ran into before all the superheroes and shit happened. There's like some fucking Neon Genesis Evangelion shit going on too. It's fucking wild. This movie is like bonkers, and I love it. I just love it. It's a really good psychological movie. Like, go check it out. So, all I said for this is that my friend Marcos, who is basically like an old man, I was like, Mark is Sophie, and I'm Howl, a tale as old as time. So, I've read up on some things about how Miyazaki, like, as a person, and he seems like he's kind of like an asshole, but he comes up with some cool shit. And like, I really do like this movie. I really love the art style. Like at this point, I think Studio Ghibli actually has more to do with like the style than Miyazaki does. But I'm wondering if like when it's Hayao Miyazaki film, like is it like did he write it or like is it like pieces that get shifted around with him? Like I don't do huge research on a lot of that shit. I know like some of the older movies he was super involved with. I don't know how involved he is with stuff like this, you know. I think it's just off the top of my head. It's like, so how much stuff is actually Tom Clancy and how much stuff is like using Tom Clancy's name on things? You know what I mean? It's like potato, not the same type of thing, but it's just what comes to mind when I think about it. But really pretty stuff, awesome visuals, awesome music, like always like super cool stories and super cool characters. It's definitely in my like top 5 of Miyazaki films, like Studio Ghibli / Miyazaki films. I spent several years not seeing it, like, for the longest time. Like, it was out for a while, and I just hadn't watched it yet, and I was floored when I watched it. Like, it was just absolutely fucking amazing. Yeah, good stuff, good stuff. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next time. The next one, the thing with the stuff and the woo.